Hello everyone, welcome to the Whistling Hermit's One Card Spread series. This video series is primarily intended for learning how to read the tarot. However, you can also use this as a card reading for the day. This is a timeless reading, so if you are watching this now, its message might be for you. For this video series, we will be using the giant Rider Waite Tarot deck by the US Games Systems Incorporated. We will also be using the booklet of the Tarot of A.E. Waite by AGM Urania. The first part of the video will be a descriptive study of a specific card in the tarot. We will describe what we see and the insights and feelings we gather from what we see. The first part is characterized by spontaneity. We allow the cards to speak to us regardless of the generally accepted meaning of the card. By doing this, we hope to increase our intuitive capacity for reading the tarot cards. In the second part, we will be reading the description of the card taken from the booklet of the Tarot of A.E. Waite by AGM Urania. If you intend to use this as a timeless reading, you can randomly choose any card in the series that resonates with you. An alternative approach is to shuffle a Rider Waite card deck and pick a card randomly. You can then choose the card in the video series that corresponds to the card that you picked. Note that this series is a work in progress and it might take some time for the 78 cards to be completely read. So, without any further delay, let us proceed to the card for the day. Now we go to the second card of the Major Arcana, the journey of the Fool. I rather call him the Dreamer, continues. Okay, so for today's card we have the card of the Magician, which has the number 1 here, number 1, and usually when we look at the Major Arcana, it's like a story of the journey of the Dreamer, or the Fool as others may call it, not the Fool. And the first one that the Fool encountered, or the Dreamer encountered along the path of his journey, was the Magician. And one story that is given is that when he encountered the Magician took this bag that is at the end of the pole that the Fool was taking, and the Magician opened the bag and showed him that 4 things that are inside that bag: a sword, a wand or a staff, a cup, and a pentacle or a coin. I was just wondering, I mean, the bag of the Fool was very small, and I was wondering how can the sword and the staff fit it? Maybe the coin and the cup would fit it, but I was wondering how the Fool was able to bring the sword and the staff. So I kind of questioned that story of the Magician opening the bag that the Fool was taking, unless maybe the sword and the staff were small and when you open it, it suddenly grows big. Okay, I would rather like to look at this story as the Fool arriving and seeing all these 4 materials on the table of the Magician. And it's as if the magician has placed all these four things, no, as if for me, when I look at it, it seems like these are the essential things that are very important in every journey that we need to go to. It's something like that, because I mean, most likely this one on the table of the magician is offered not only to the fool, but to anyone who would pass by, any traveler who would pass by the place of the magician. Oftentimes, when there's a store or a shop, whatever it is, they usually provide the necessary things. I remember when I was still young, we would go to this Chinese shop, and these Chinese shops would usually contain everything that you need, you know, from the smallest item, from a pomade to a toothpick, up to the most unusual things, no? But these are the essential things that you usually need. Sometimes when we need something in the house and you cannot find it in other stores, what we do is we go to a Chinese shop, and oftentimes we find it, no? So I think it's like this with this magician, no? He has this shop. That is what I kind of feel right now, no? It seems like the magician has a shop that provides everything that a traveler needs in their journey, the essential things, you know? And then it's as if like maybe when the fool arrived in the shop, or the dreamer arrived in the shop of this magician, these were the essential things that the magician provides for travelers. And it's very nice, no? When I look at it, no? They say that the sword symbolizes our intelligence, our capacity to speak, you know? So this is more of the intellectual part of our being, you know? And then the wand represents our will, you know, our passion, our inner strength, no? So this one is more of the mental capacity. This one is more of the will, and then the strength, the energy within our being. This one is related to relationship, to love, to feelings, to everything, no? So the mind, the will, the heart, and the coin represents our wealth and our capacity to be productive. So this is more of the physical part, the capacity for us to provide ourselves with our physical needs. So when you look at it, yes, these are very essential parts in our life to help us have a successful journey in our life, that we need to be able to have a balance with our intellect, our will, our heart, and our capacity to create, you know, capacity to produce things. And I think these are essential things that we need in our journey. So I feel that this dreamer, at this present time in his journey, I feel that he is being provided with the essential things, no? And maybe it's a reminder for us also that as we start new chapters in our life, or if you are starting right now a new chapter in your life, there might be a need for us to examine ourselves again, to see whether are we able to make a balance, or to utilize all these capacities that are given to us as gifts by the Lord, or gifts given to us by the universe, whichever we call the source of everything. That we are given the gifts for intellectual capacity, the gifts of the will, the gifts to love, the gift to create things, no? The creative part in us. And I guess this is an invitation for us, that if we are already at this point in our life where a new chapter is opening, there might be a need for us to check what are the gifts and the capacities that are available to us at this present time, no? Another beautiful thing about it is that before from what I feel is like when the dreamer saw these materials, no, it seems like it was not enough just to have these material things. There is a need to, it's as if this magician is blessing these things, like it needs to be infused with something. These gifts need to be infused with something, and I think the important element that will complete, so that these things will be very, very helpful in the journey, is that there is a need for us to be in touch with the divine, but at the same time remaining grounded he was raising his hands to the sky as if invoking the grace from above. And he's pointing down on the ground. It's like getting energies from above and getting energies from below, or it can be also getting blessings from above while reminding us to remain grounded to reality. So I guess this is a very important component also of the journey, that we cannot just rely on what was given to us. We need to be constantly in touch with the above or with the divine, while at the same time remaining grounded to reality. On top of the magician is this infinity. It's like above his head, no? There is an awareness of the infinity, that life is infinite. There is an awareness of the infinity. The infinity can also be the source of everything, to which we come from, to which we will return. So it's another reminder for us to be constantly in touch with the source, with the infinity. And somehow this is an important aspect. No? One thing very interesting about this one is that I was looking, no? In this area where the magician is, and as we see from the picture, the magician is in touch with the divine while remaining grounded, and is also in constant awareness of the infinity. At the same time, he has all the essential things for our journey in life. No? He also has this belt here, which when you look at it, it's a snake that is biting on its tail. No? I guess this is also a symbol of infinity. No? So he's not only just aware of the infinity, he is in touch with the infinity. The belt is in touch of his waist. No? At the same time, also maybe the infinity, usually when you look at the chakras, this is at the level of the second chakra. No? And there's that level is somehow related also to sexuality and to fertility. I don't know. I somehow have the feeling that it's also very important that when it comes to our sexual relationships or to loving relationships, maybe the presence of the infinity is also important. Maybe this is my personal reflection at this moment. Maybe for someone who's reading this card, maybe there's something for you, a message for you in this area, that when it comes to sexual relationship, it should not only be just pure sexual. Maybe there is a need for awareness of the infinity, that the sexual relationship is not just pure pleasure, but there is something to be being in touch or being in union with the infinite, with the source. I think being in touch with the source when it comes to relationship and sexuality somehow protects us from falling into low energy relationships. I think so. This is what I feel at this moment, so take it if it resonates with you. And another thing is that when you look at it here, there are a lot of flowering plants around him, and a lot of vines with a lot of flowers, as if everything is flourishing in the presence of the magician. And the magician also looks very young. I guess I somehow feel that when we are in touch with the divine, at the same time being grounded, that we are in a journey, in a certain point in our personality where everything is balanced and you are in touch with the divinity, there is less stress and we look younger and more at peace. This is what I'm starting to feel. And at the same time, when we are in touch with the divinity, while at the same time remaining grounded, being one with the infinite, we start to become productive. Everything around us suddenly is filled with life. everything blooms. The people that touches our life, the people who are around us start to flourish, and then everything benefits. When we are filled with the divine, our whole being is filled with the divine, we influence the environment around us. And if you are filled with beauty, everything around you is suddenly filled with beauty. I remember this passage, when in this passage in the Bible, after the crucifixion of Jesus, uh, two disciples were walking, escaping on their way to Emmaus because they are afraid that they will be persecuted after Jesus has been crucified. And along the way, they met Jesus, and when they met Jesus, Jesus journeyed with them and talked with them, and then finally, in the end, they had dinner with Jesus, and suddenly Jesus said, disappeared. After Jesus disappeared and revealed to them, they realized that it was Jesus who was with them. And what they said was, weren't our hearts burning when we were with him? I guess if you are someone who is in touch with the divinity, you will be burning. You will be filled with life. You will be filled with a certain energy of productiveness, that this burning person, or you, if you are burning already, will be influencing everything around you. If you have this productive energy, this burning energy in you, everything around you will be affected, and they too will become productive, will be filled with fecundity, with the potential to be creative, potential for growth. Well, this is my reflection right now with regards to this card. At the beginning of a journey, I feel if you are right now in the beginning of your journey, you are going to be provided with the materials that you're going to need. It might come to a physical person, like the magician or a physical person, or it can be just a symbolism of the magician, but it will not be something physical, but you will be provided with the things you will be needing in this journey, at this present point in your life. You will be provided with these things, but there is an invitation for you to go into your journey, to be constantly in touch with the infinite, with the divine, but an invitation also for you to remain grounded to reality and to always be productive, to always filled with this creative energy. And this creative energy will influence everything around you and will bring. And I think that is a very beautiful thing. If all of us will be filled with this creative energy, this positive energy, then we will be influencing everything that we come across in the journey of our life. Well, so that is our reflection for today. I hope that somehow this reflection has helped you being more open to becoming intuitive, and at the same time, if you are looking at this card as your card for the day, may the reflections resonate with you. I hope the reflections would resonate with you and be helpful in your present state of life, or the present state of your journey in this life. Now we go to part 2 of the one card spread series of Whistling Hermit's channel. For today, we are going to read, as usual, from the Handbook of the Tarot of A.E. Waite by AGM Urania. And our card for today is the Magician. As usual again, the Magician has one page to describe himself, one page of description. It has a portion for divinatory meanings or divinatory meanings, warning and advice, and also action. So now we're going to read the description of the Magician. The Magician is originally a very tricky fellow, a kind of sly carnival figure who plays a game with the suit objects on his table. The magician has become a grand magus, who brings the heavenly power of above down into the physical world. The infinite sign above his head reminds us that he is the first figure to manifest or make real the fool's infinite possibilities. He treats life and its crises as a creative art. On his table lie the objects of the minor arcana. The wand, the stick, not the crystal wand he holds up, the cup, the sword, and the pentacle. Because he is focused and clear, he can draw on all the elements, be master of every situation. To borrow from the I Ching, he is the primary yang card, the principle of action. Divinatory meanings. Clear and focused, tricky. Able to handle any situation. Getting this card means you can act magically in a crisis and in times of changes, doing things that might seem impossible. Nice, interesting. Warning or advice. Warning of confusion, of difficulty focusing your energy. Okay. Warning, it might be necessary to wait rather than act in the moment. Action. Focused will can transform a situation. Okay, it's quite interesting. So this is what the handbook tells us, and this finishes part 2. Well, I wish you a great day. May you have a great start in your new journey or a new chapter in your life, if you are right now beginning a new chapter. And I hope to see you again in our next one card spread series. Until next time, have a great day.